will they beat the Lions?
Right.
And I'm going to say 18% will say yes.
I think it might be less than that.
It might be. I don't know.
I mean, how could you be optimistic?
There's a lot of psycho Commander fans out there that think they're going to beat everybody.
There certainly are. That is true. And maybe they'll gravitate towards the poll.
Is that the question?
Yeah, put that up. Who wins on Sunday, Commanders or Lions?
Eric, what do you
I think it's going to be less than 18%.
What do you think the percentage of yes would be?
That say they're going to win?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say maybe you have 10% of blind homers at this point. If you had Jaden playing, it would be higher.
Yeah.
Probably 15%.
By the way, if they pull off the upset,
yeah,
which, I mean, I'm not going to predict, but if they pull off the upset, then the Graspers will be out on Monday, because then all of a sudden you look at the schedule and go, "Oh,
we can beat Miami.
Yeah.
We can beat the Broncos, just score 10 a game."
Yeah.
That's kind of the nature of it. That's how they want it to be.
But they're not beating Detroit.
I don't see
think
many
so.
scenarios where they beat Detroit.
I haven't checked. What does the matchup predictor have the Commanders at?
I think
right
it's like
now?
65 to 67% for the Lions.
I'm surprised
Something
it's
in
not
that
higher.
range.
Surprised it's not higher, to be honest with you. But I don't know.
I'll give you the updated
We had
odds.
Vaughn on the show. I heard an interview Vaughn did, and he maintains, he said the same thing on our show, that the preparation, everything they did was great, and you couldn't have convinced them that they were going to lose each of these last few weeks. Like everything was perfect.
They thought
you
they
can't
were
blame
ready.
the coaches. You can't blame the player. We were all locked in. We had a great week of practices. Dan Quinn does an amazing job getting us ready. He reeled off all these defensive coaches' names. The strength coach, his nutritionist. I mean, everything was dialed in. And then the disconnect from when they walk out the tunnel till then when the whistle blows, he says he basically can't put a finger on it.
Did you watch the Witt presser?
That's one I haven't seen yet. It's one I haven't.
He seems to be excited about being out of the booth.
Field. Yeah.
I always feel like those are grasper moves and don't make a difference.
You know when he's not going to be excited? When Jahmyr Gibbs is rushing for like 125 yards against his defense. He's not going to be very excited.
Hey, maybe a different perspective will help. Apparently, he was asked to go out there, right? Players requested it.
Cakes, they did beat him in the last matchup.
That's what he said, yeah.
The last matchup, they had Jaden Daniels. They had Terry McLaurin at full strength.
But defensively, they picked off Jared Goff and forced a bunch of turnovers.
I appreciate your optimism. I don't know if you fully are buying into it.
I told you I'm picking the Lions, but I'm telling you that the last time they played each other, which wasn't even a full calendar year ago, less than a year ago, they faced them. And let's not talk about what the Detroit Lions offense can do to Washington's inept defense, because we can go through Washington's defensive numbers this year, and they are atrocious.
They're grim.
All right. But the last time that they faced the Lions, Jared Goff threw a bunch of picks, and they had a bunch of turnovers.
Yeah, I completely ball that game up, throw it away. This is a completely different scenario. You have no Jaden Daniels.
Maybe they are Goff's kryptonite.
You have a team that's basically in a free fall in the Commanders, and you have a Lions team that knows they need a win.
You're just giving
to keep pace in the NFC North.
The Commanders fans a little bit of hope, just a little bit. That's what you're doing.
I respect it, but
he doesn't believe it for 1 second.
Probably not.
Well, I do believe that those things happened.
Oh yeah,
they happened. The last time they faced the Detroit Lions,
one-off.
Well, of course, those are facts.
Forced a bunch of turnovers.
Are things a little bit different this year? A little bit?
A lot of bit different.
Oh, okay, a lot of bit different.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, JP's living in the past. I'm living in the now.
I mean, but at some point we're going to win some games. I mean, I know this sounds dumb to say because we played so poorly, but I just refuse to believe we're like a 4 or 5 win team. I honestly have a hard time. Although I can't see the wins, I don't know where they're coming from.
They might not be a 4 or 5 win team. They may be a 6 or 7 win team.
Yeah, that sounds more reasonable to me.
No, you're right. They're not going to go the rest of the year winless.
Yeah,
they're going to win some games, but I just don't think this one's one of them.
Just to revisit,
I'm not picking them in any of them.
Yeah,
but I think that
I'm picking them against the Dolphins.
I'm picking them against the Dolphins. I've already gone on record. They will beat the Dolphins in Madrid.
It depends on what I see this week. I'm not going to commit to picking the Commanders against the Dolphins.
Though Devon Achane and Waddle should eat against this defense, I would think.
Just to revisit what I said a few weeks ago. I said, when we were talking about whether certain games were must-win games, I said, no, they're not a must-win game, but they have to win 1 out of the next 3. Which means now this one is a must-win because my scenario was this is a must-win, and then they got to rip off 4 in a row after that.
Yeah.
Which is very hard to imagine. You'd have to go to Todd Collins-like run.
Has anything about this team struck you as thinking they could win 4 games in a row?
No.
When they've done it in the past, you never thought it would happen either.
Right.
When Shanny gave up on the team, when Todd Collins came on a run. I mean, I'm picking out 2 out of the last 20 years. He's correct.
But Shanny legitimately talks about evaluating players for next season at one point.
Shanny quit.
He's like, we're going to see the guys who want to be here next season.
He wasn't even quiet quitting. He was out loud quitting.
Quit. We attacked him for it, but they ended up going on a run. But by the way, none of us could see it coming.
No.
Every time a team goes on a run like that, at least around here, especially when they start out so poorly, you never see it coming. You always say this team isn't going to do it. Especially with all the injuries and without your superstar. Was there an update yesterday on Jaden? I know we're going to hit the Skins at the top
I did not
of the hour,
hear any.
But I didn't hear any either.
They were supposed to come up with the plan, but he was kind of nebulous that the plan was going to be figured out in the next couple of days.
Yeah. I'm telling you. I don't know. I'm hopeful.
And it may be dependent on outcome. It probably shouldn't be.
They won't say
but
that.
But it may be dependent on outcome.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And it might even be dependent on an owner. Like, we don't know. Like, that might be like an owner's call, which he's basically stays out of it, but he might be like, let's protect the asset, to use Cakes' phrase.
It's definitely an asset.
If the season
don't want to
slips.
rush him back.
That's true. But he also wants to have a little bit of excitement towards the end of the season. Do you think the owner just wants to punt? I don't know.
I'm totally speculating.
Yeah. I'm going to guess he doesn't get involved. He doesn't seem like he's the involved type. That
he's going to let Peters and the medical staff
He
take
likes
care
to be
of that.
informed, but it doesn't sound like he interjects.
Here's a trend that is not great. The Lions are coming off a loss. The last time that they lost 2 straight is October 2022.
Going back a ways.
Right. Hey, props to Dan Campbell. He's got that thing turned around. Yeah. And we all kind of goofed on him when he had his opening press conference.
Definitely goofed on him.
He talked about like eating knees or
biting
something.
Kneecaps.
Yeah.
It's all about biting kneecaps. They're going to fight hard and bite kneecaps and do everything they could to scrape together wins.
Guys play hard for him. But according to Vaughn, we heard him on the show every week. And, another interview I listened to him. The guys are all in.
They're all believers.
They all love DQ. They're all in. They got a bunch of veteran guys. So, I mean, at some point, you would think it would pay off.
Belief only goes so far.
I think it might be. I think it might be ugly at Northwest Stadium.
So you're predicting like a third straight.
I mean, I think it could be a bloodbath.
Well, I mean, just like gross.
They've lost 3 in a row by 21 or more.
Yeah.
I mean,
but the one I didn't think was
31 to 14, 31 to 17 wouldn't surprise me at all.
We didn't think the Chiefs one was as bad, but ultimately they did lose by 3 touchdowns.
They did, but I thought it was a better effort. I wasn't as distraught about that one.
The problem is when you just look at their defensive depth chart, and again, if you go through some of the analytics, I mean, they're ranked 30th, 31st, 32nd as a unit defensively. They're likely to start Jalen Holmes and Preston Smith at defensive end.
I don't like their chances with that.
I don't think a team has lost by 21 or more for 4 straight weeks since 2000. I think it was the Cardinals.
Now, if you are looking for optimism, I think 3 of the Detroit Lions offensive linemen are banged up. Now, I don't know whether that means they're all going to miss the game, but they may be reduced if they play.
And Luvu got his suspension overturned.
Right. So he's
going to be on the field.
So he's been great this year. You want hip drop tackle, everybody?
I remember I was reading off all the injuries yesterday from the injury report.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of true that every team has their own injuries. The Lions was longer.
Yeah.
Ours was interminable. And then you look over to the Lions. Now, I don't know how many of those guys are actually out, how many are just, actually going to play, but just listed. But their injury list was actually longer.
Yeah, both of their tackles, Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker, listed as questionable.
Sewell, he definitely got hurt last week.
Yeah. They were both limited at practice yesterday. So they practiced, but limited fashion.
Again, I will pick Detroit. I think all of us are going to pick Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
But if they pull off the upset, Victory Monday will be fun. And people will start to grasp.
Yes, they will.
Because they'll look at 4 and 6, and they'll look at even if you just look at the Dolphins, you'll be like 5 and 6, you're in it. 5 and 6, you'd be in it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a murderer's row. If you do beat the Lions, and suddenly you think you're competitive, and if you can play like that, it's all hypothetical. So let's say you beat the Lions and you actually play well. It's not like both teams play poorly and you win. You play well, beat the Lions, then you think, okay, then you can beat the Dolphins, and then the Broncos toss up, Vikings toss up. That's how you would think. And you might even think Giants toss up. If you play like you do, if you play well against the Lions and continue that.
Titanic was premature.
Oh, you think?
Well, I'm just saying.
If you beat the Lions.
Yeah.
But if they lose by 21, then we played it at the perfect time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, even if they lose by 1.
And
even if they lose by 1.
Dude, at this point, I'm into moral victories. I'm okay with them.
It's the moral victory portion of the schedule.
My bar's low. I've given up. My bar's pretty low.
Do you think maybe they kind of run it up because of last year's playoff loss? Maybe they're a little salty about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not sure, because I saw that isn't Dan Campbell's gone on record basically saying he feels bad for Dan Quinn, all the criticism about keeping Jaden in the game too long.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll actually have some compassion and sympathy towards him. I don't know.
I think most coaches that I've seen on TV, whether it's on ESPN or FS1, seem to side with Quinn.
Yeah.
Like they're like, you play the guy.
Yeah. Well,
Baldy came on the show and play the guy.
They're not going to turn against their guys.
They're not going to. Yeah, only like a Lane Kiffin, would pop off and say whatever he wants.
I mean, Quinn took the bullet himself, but I don't know if he truly believes it. It might have been like a PR move, like, yeah, I made a mistake.
Well, I think he got kind of.
I feel like he feels that way after the fact, but he obviously didn't want to take him out. He wasn't even thinking about that.
Well, he was thinking about taking him out after the drive.
Yeah, I'm saying to start the drive.
And he also thought that play wasn't a play where he would get hurt.
Yeah. So in his mind, if you believe him, and I believe him because this is what he said immediately afterwards, he was going to play one more drive, but he wasn't going to run.
Right.
So that would kind of protect him.
The football nerds say that he's supposed to either get rid of it quickly or hand it off.
Yeah. But then, when he says, I missed it, he missed the part that, Jaden runs all the time when things fall apart.
Right.
Which is actually understandable.
I'll tell you who's going to be hard to contain. Obviously, they got a bunch of guys, but Laporta is going to be hard to contain for them.
Yeah, he's going to be a problem.
He's going to be a problem for them.
Well, so is Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're obvious weapons, the St. Browns and the Gibbs and all those guys. But Laporta, I think, is going to have a big game.
But look, at the end of the day, there's no reasonable reason for you to expect them to win. It's just they're professionals, and maybe they could put on an exceptional effort. But like on paper, it's a loser.
EB, though, if you look at the trophy cases,
listen,
you're not going to say they're the Lions?
They're kind of an exception to the rule. Because they played so exceptionally well the last few years. It's not like a one-off. Like, they played really well these last few years.
Kicked their ass the last matchup.
Yeah, but that was a little...
Kind of kicked their ass.
No, we dominated them. I feel like that was a little fluky. Like, I don't think we would dominate them again, even if we were at full strength.
Well, I think the genius Ben Johnson also outsmarted himself. Because Jahmyr Gibbs was running for
he was
10 yards a pop.
They were gouging.
Like, let's run a double reverse pass.
Yeah, that was one of those games
fancy.
Where we were touched by God.
Sanders still had 2 picks in the game.
Everything went right.
You can't replicate.
And where has that Mikey Sanders still been? Remember, in that game, he undercut at the end of the first half the pass from Goff for an interception. Then he had an interception. Was it Jameson Williams and threw the pass?
I think it might have been, yeah.
I think Jameson Williams threw the pass.
Tricky.
Another dumb trick play by my guy, Ben Johnson.
Yeah. No, but my bit there, the Lions, I mean, historically, I always go that route. But they've kind of bucked that trend the last few years.
But you can always fall back on their trophy case is empty.
Well, that's the essence of it.
They got nothing.
That is, like, we have ultimate bragging rights, but in terms of in the moment, like the last few years, I mean, they've been one of the best teams in the league. So
yes, they have.
You can't really just say.
And they need to win. They know they can't, lose a back-to-backer.
Yeah,
against a team with a bunch of backups.
It's
What's the deal with rough. McLaurin? Is he definitely out again?
Oh, he's out. Yeah. I don't think
McLaurin. Heard nothing on McLaurin.
We never hear anything.
No, I think he basically. You got the sense he talked about a week or so ago that that bye week was going to factor in, and that he's not that far off, but they're going to give him that bye week to just be done with this. I think that's the sense. That he's not that far off, but with the bye week around the corner, that's the sense I got. Reading between the lines.
What a horrible season for Terry McLaurin.
A horrible season.
What? Just a season to forget.
Season from hell.
It's just been abysmal.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think we probably said it combined 1,000 times in the offseason that while we all have positive expectations that a regression was certainly in the cards and certainly a lot of instances. We said they're not going to go 80% on 4th down. They're not going to win 6 ones, all that stuff. I did not think it would go this badly.
Yeah, I mean, you were just in the NFC Championship. Jaden Daniels was the third betting favorite for MVP starting the season.
Could not foresee the season bottoming out the way it has. Just couldn't.
Been a lot of circumstances, all the injuries. But if you just keep it simple, if you stripped it all away, and you said this before the season and said, all right, EB, everybody else can be healthy, but their quarterback is going to miss this amount of games. You'd say, okay, well, we're not going to make the playoffs. It's going to be a bad year. Like if you just keep it simple.
How many games? I know, but how many games has he missed so far? 4?
He's played in 6, but
yeah, I mean,
he was pulled from 1.
You told me he was going to miss 4 games on the whole. And he played 13. I still think we might have a shot.
Who told you he's going to miss, though? This is his third stint of missing games.
I know, but the total games he's missed so far is 4.
Okay, but it's going to end up being
probably
8 to 10?
Probably be 7. I feel like he's going to come back after the bye, too. That's my gut.
I don't know. I just think when your starting quarterback misses games, it's tough to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
Well, it's tough to win games, let alone be a playoff team.
But you're right. You're breaking it down to the most simplest form, but it's way beyond that.
Of course it is.
It's way beyond that.
Yeah, the rest of the situation doesn't help.
Even if he was there for all these games, yes. I'm not convinced our record would be markedly better. Maybe 1 or 2 games.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave away the Bear game.
1-800-636-1067 is the number. It is a Football Friday on the Fan, though we will talk little caps. Brandon DeHame joins us at 8:45. And Scott Abraham from ABC 7, plus our weekend parlay. Don't go anywhere.